Hello, we are Geeks Assembled. I'm joined with Ethan today. We're discussing the second season of a phenomenon of a series based on a comic book series. Me and Ethan discussed the first season of this last year, and we're back to discuss the second season of The Boys. So I don't know how we're going to do this one, Ethan. Where should we start with the second season of The Boys?
Oh, God, this is what I was thinking of because I'm like, there's so many good things to talk about this and where to start. I suppose it's just like a quick recap, isn't it? Like, because of course we were like saying about, I spoke about what The Boys was. I knew you weren't familiar with it, so I told you about the comic and stuff.
I'm still not familiar with the comic side of it. I'm getting more familiarized with the TV characterizations of these characters.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, both the TV and the comics are brilliant. The story in the comic book, season 2 confirms it's not the story from the comics. It's doing something very different. It's retelling things. But season 2 obviously picks up from where season 1 left off. We found out Rebecca was alive, and
he had a son.
He had a son,
yeah.
And the boys are now officially on the run from the Supes and the Law and God knows who else, and they're still trying to bring down Vought. And this introduces a lot of great characters that I remembered from the comics actually, but now modernized. Like, for example, we've got Ava Cash as Stormfront, who is a brilliant, nasty villain. But unlike in the comics, Stormfront was a guy.
Oh, right.
Stormfront was a guy, and there was no relationship between Stormfront and Homelander in the comics, obviously, because Stormfront was a guy. But in this, they've modernized it up and made her a woman and the wife of Frederick Vought. And they've kept the Nazi background in it, which was something I thought, oh, great, that's still there, revealing that the Supes are all basically creations of the Nazis.
When that came out, I thought, oh my God, where's this going?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I recognized it as Sue, but I didn't expect Stormfront in this to be Frederick's wife. So it again, as it did with season 1, but season 2, I thought was the best one by far. Right. That really, it's not often you get to say a second season is better than the first. There's so many shows where it could go either way, but this just upped it. This had everything I remembered from The Boys, or you could put in the original books anyway. All the violence and the gore and everything's just upped to like 10,000 volts.
Yeah, the violence is still there. It's still,
and everything it does, but it's just written so well. And like I said, it does borrow little elements from the comics. If you've ever read the books, there was little moments I'll be like, oh, I recognize where that's from. But luckily, the whole story as a whole is told a lot differently. Again, they're still bringing it, taking down Vought. You've also got, I wish I could pronounce this gentleman's name because he's such a great actor, and he's from Breaking Bad, Gus, who played Stan Edgar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it begins with a G, Esposito.
Yeah.
Him. But odd, and again, this is another character I remember from the comics, but he was always named, but you never saw him, but he was actually dead. So it's going deeper. Again, it's taking these characters much deeper and they're evolving them, and it's just so well done. And there's so many moments I could name, but we'll get to that.
I mean, as I say, it picks up from where it left off. You know, Butch's wife has got a child. Turns out it's Homelander's son.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow Homelander starts to feel fatherly in this season.
Yeah.
You do sort of feel sorry for him at certain points.
certain points you do, yeah. I think you sort of do, but come season 3, I don't think we will feel sorry for him after, because I'll go into that later, and I think I know where it's going to go big time. But yeah, you do feel sorry for him because I think it's almost like this season show. I mean, the actor who plays Homelander, Anthony Starr, Anthony Starr, he's brilliant, and I always remembered him from Banshee.
Yes, yeah, I've got
which was another great show, which was another fantastic show.
4 seasons over there, you know, in the box set.
Banshee was a great show, and I can't believe it's that long ago since I watched it. But he was such a great hero in that. Compared to, in this, he's an absolute evil maniac.
He is now.
Yeah, but he's such a great actor, and he's really stapled Homelander as not only one of the greatest, maybe the greatest villain on TV right now, but one of the greatest villains in TV history, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because of how much depth is in him. And it's so interesting to see him like, because I will say, I think it'll be safe to say about what the story in the comics was.
Right.
But I'll get to that later when we say about certain things. But Homelander, yeah, in the comics, he still does a lot of horrible things, but there's a reason why. But in this, they've already made him out that he is just already evil and unstable, and there's something up with him. And it's great seeing him how he was in season 1 to being degraded and his mind deteriorated so much.
Yeah, you do. I mean,
it's such an incredible story.
It goes from wanting to be like a father figure to the young boy, and then sort of he slowly starts to sort of go insane. I mean, you see it in his eyes, just slowly, and then by the end of the season, he's up on a building with his tights down, whacking one out.
Yeah, and
he can do anything he wants.
Yeah, I have to say that was like I was saying to my girlfriend Sharon, that is that bit when he gets defeated, he's got the blood on his face, and you just see him laughing maniacally, ready to kill Billy and the boy. That's when you know he's about to he's snap. It's when it's zooming in on his eyes and everything. You just hear that violin and that eerie noise and music. That is both one of the most. It's such a great scene, one of the most satisfying villain defeats ever, but it's also one of the most terrifying, chilling. I actually got chills at that bit. I actually said to Sharon, "That's so creepy." It's just so dead in the eyes. He's such a great actor. He's so dead in the eyes, but you know he's totally snapped.
Well, that scene. I mean, we're going all over the place here. It doesn't matter if we do anything in order, but that scene where he's all covered in blood and he goes for the kid in the forest, and then Butcher. I mean, I was quite taken aback when Butcher turned round. I thought, hold on a minute, he's going to kill the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the crazed look as well.
Yeah.
I think, to me, personally, those two characters are as bad as each other.
I know, but it's great because Billy in the Billy Butcher in the comics would never have done that. Oddly enough. Right. He was much more ruthless and heartless and very manipulative.
Right.
And there's something that happens to Billy in the end of the comics, which is quite it's a very big twist about Billy and how far he goes, but it's definitely not going to happen in this because it wouldn't fit Billy's character in this series because he's a lot more deeper and emotional and there's a lot more heart to him. And it's great because I thought, oh no, he's going to do it. But the fact he actually says no, he remembers what his mum said, don't become your dad and, don't become the Homelander. So it's confirming that we're not going to get the ending from the comics, but we're still going to get the fact it was such a great scene because it's showing like he's becoming more calm and collected and he's understanding I can't go too far. I promised. As he said to Homelander, I made a promise. And Homelander himself, he's becoming more evil, but he's just more evil than ever. He's just absolutely snapped. And it's funny that a funny story about that scene where he's on the skyscraper jerking off. Now, That's actually a famous scene from the comics, but instead in comics, he's actually peeing on the building. He's actually doing a pee. And originally, Eric Kripke, who does the show, brilliant, and round of applause for him. I mean, well done to this guy for thinking. Now, the story I heard, they were originally going to do that scene in the first series, in the first episode. But there's two stories to this, so I don't know which one is true. But the one story says Amazon was not too sure about this scene, if it might go a bit far or something. And originally it was going to be him peeing on the building. But Eric Kripke, one story, Eric Kripke said, actually, no, I don't want to do this scene yet because it delves too much into his psyche. And because of the story they were going to do, how he evolves, he thought it might be a bit much to sort of show much what his mind's like. So that's how when they got to this series, he thought that one scene,
we'll end the series with that.
He said in season 2 he thought that's where it could fit, but he rewrote. He thought, how more degrading is it, getting peed on or getting cum all over you from this guy on the building? So he did. He rewrote it, which in many ways is just as twisted. It's just as messed up. You know, I thought than the original comic. You know, instead of peeing, he's jerking off. And it shows his mental state's just now, he's just lost the plot.
I mean, I was watching it, I was thinking, and he's just, stood there going, I can do anything I want. I can do anything. I thought, whoa, what?
Because at first I thought, at first when you're thinking he's just shaking, going, I can do anything. But you're thinking, wait a minute, what's he doing? And then I clicked. I thought, oh no.
Good on the actor.
Good on the actor. But again, all the actors, it's all of, I mean, I was going to say, he deserves an Emmy, Anthony Starr, for playing that. All the actors do. And you've got all the boys themselves. It shows more about their characters. You know, we learn more about you know, his dad, how his dad fought against Vought. And Kamiko, you get to see her evolving more and becoming more calm and relaxed, despite ripping a Russian guy's face off. But
we meet her brother as well, who's got superpowers as well.
Yeah. And Frenchie, who lost his one of his best mates, didn't he?
Yeah. But it's one of the series just goes from strength to strength for me, because I mean, not being a reader of the comics, I don't know what to expect, so it always comes as a surprise every time I watch an episode of this.
Yeah.
And how far are they going to go and push the boundaries?
Well, that's the thing, because in the comics, Homelander, pretty much how we saw Homelander at the end of this, is pretty much how he is in the comics. Because I suppose I could definitely say, like, the story now, like, one of the things I liked, and one of the things I kept questioning, and I remember you kept asking me, who would it be? And I couldn't give it away, but now I can, because they've already confirmed it's not who it is. Black Noir. Now, I don't know if you know the twist in the comics already, but Black Noir, we got a lot of him in this, where they're clearly building him up for something. He's clearly somebody in that mask. And we got a lot of him who, I tell you, Black Noir's a great character. He doesn't say much, but he's such a great villain.
Yeah, I mean, they used him a lot when he was staking out Billy and the boys at his auntie's house, wasn't he?
Yeah, we got to see a lot more of him. But one of the things I kept thinking was, is he who I think he is in this version? But when Maeve took half his mask off and you saw the face, that was, for many of us fans, confirming, saying it's not who he is. In the comics, the reason Homelander's so insane in the books version is he's somewhat still narcissistic and twisted and almost something not right. But he goes even more insane because somebody sends him these photos where he has done all these horrible crimes, where he's raped people, and Rebecca got raped, and in the comics she dies giving birth. So he just gives into all these urges. But the twist is, he says he doesn't remember doing all these things. He remembers the things he sort of did. But he shows these pictures to Billy saying, I don't remember these killings. I don't remember raping these people. So he's thinking, well, maybe he split personality or something. But what the twist is, they have a final showdown in the White House, and Black Noir appears, and he starts laughing. And they think, how's he laughing? Why? He's never spoke before. But then he takes his mask off, and he's actually a clone of Homelander.
Ah.
He's and believe it or not, more mentally deranged. And he's so insane. It's at the point where his wording is very stuttery, where it's more like, had to do it, take pictures, shit, raped them all. And it's very sort of creepy. And what it turns out is there was a backup plan. When Homelander became Homelander, Vought made a backup plan to say that if he ever went out of line, Black Noir, who's actually a clone of Homelander, would kill him and take his place. But because Homelander was so good and nothing ever happened, he never went out of line, Black Noir couldn't do the one thing he was created for. And it drove him absolutely insane.
Bonkers.
So then he did his first crime to start getting Homelander insane and then kill him off, was rape Rebecca. So in the comics, it's actually Black Noir who rapes Rebecca. But throughout the whole series, you think it's Homelander. And he's the one who sent the photos to Homelander to make him snap and to say, I've come in to kill you. And then they realize, like, as Billy says to Homelander, so basically you turned into an evil psycho for nothing.
So, as you said then, they are going down a different route for the TV series.
They are going around. Yep, they're going for a different route. So it's clear.
I do like the Black Noir character. I mean, when Maeve shoved the chocolate nut allergy into his mouth, he's a superhero with a nut allergy. It was just brilliant.
Yeah. But it was almost like I sort of got that idea in series 1 where Homelander said, yes, I did rape Rebecca. And at that point I was thinking, oh, so it's him who did it. And I was thinking, well, what about Black Noir? But then, of course, that's when I started to work out, it's not going to be the story from the comics.
They may use loosely things from the comics, but
that's what I'm thinking. They're borrowing certain things. And that's how I believe Ryan, because in the comics, Black Noir kills Homelander by literally ripping him in half. So I think Ryan might be the one who kills Homelander. Somehow, I think he's going to be one because he's more powerful than him, supposedly. And they could still do something with Black Noir because clearly he is someone. But I love hearing all the theories about him. They're saying he could be Stan Edgar's son. The black guy who runs Vought, it could be Stan Edgar's son, or he could be a clone of Stan Edgar. There's one theory saying he could actually be Lenny, Billy Butcher's brother.
Yeah, maybe so.
So there's all these different theories and stuff. Or another theory was he could be Frederick Vought.
The
creator of Vought, the German, the Nazi. So you never really know. So there's all these different theories, but he's clearly going to be someone else in this. So it is going to go to root. And that's what causes, in the comics, that's what causes Homelander to go mental because he thinks he's doing all these things. And he gives into these urges. Whereas obviously in the series, it's a lot more different. Yeah. And we're seeing what now makes him snap is losing everything. He loses his son. And the fact he's now on this edge and he could lose. Basically, he's needy. He's like a celebrity gone wrong. He's desperate for attention. And now he's snapping.
But also, he's like a little kid.
Yeah, he's like a twisted little kid.
If was it episode 1 or 2, he's there at that house and he gets the breast milk out of the fridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and he starts drinking it. Yeah. So my theory about Homelander is, like I said, we're not going to get that story, but he's definitely getting more and more insane. And I think by the final series, he's going to be a combination of how insane Black Noir was, where he's just an animalistic monster, just stuttering and shaking and grinning maniacally, just going, he's going to be like that and just totally degrade big time. And we're going to get a lot of the stuff he does in the comics I think he's going to do in series 3. So get ready, because there's a lot of twisted stuff he does, from cannibalism, raping, murdering, and he is going to be a homicidal maniac. They confirmed. They said he is going to be a full-on murderer. And
well, yeah, you could see that anyway, because he was when he was with the crowds of people there, and they were all chanting against him and all that. He was imagining destroying them all, murdering them all.
Yeah. So we're going to get that in series 3. We're going to get him murdering. I bet you he'll go into cannibalism as well, because that's what he did in the comics.
Yeah.
He just gives into all these urges that pop into his head, all these psychotic urges. So he's going to be a lot more terrifying, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I going back to what you said about the second series being better than the first series. For me, I think they're on par with each other, to be honest. I enjoyed the first series and I enjoyed this one, and they were on par. I loved the Maeve sad storyline, where Homelander was sort of blackmailing her into coming out. And it sells. We have to have a gay person in the team. I mean,
and again, it does all that satire, and it shows the world. It's showing like it basically is. It's like a funhouse version of today's world. It's showing everything that's irrelevant and stuff. Like, and I got to admit, there was one bit I actually laughed on. If you're a comic book fan, you'll get it. Is when they're filming The Seven, which is clearly a piss take of Justice League.
Yeah.
The film Justice League. And it's so funny because there's one bit where Homelander says, "How are you getting on with the script?" I tell you, this new Josh rewrite screams everything, doesn't it? Which is a joke on Josh Whedon rewriting it and stuff.
Yeah,
so it really depicts today's world perfectly and stuff. And like you said, Maeve's brilliant, and it was so.
I do like the character Maeve. I mean, talking of the Seven, I think Maeve should be more in it, more involved.
Yeah.
The Deep.
Yes.
He's my favourite character, across the board. And personally, they're not using him enough for the comedic side of it.
No, and he's brilliant. What's his name? Chas Crawford, who plays him. He's so brilliant. And even me and Sharon agreed, saying it's so funny how he started in the first series, and now you really like him. He's actually not. I really want him to stand out big time in the next series and do something. I don't know, join the boys or something, because they're clearly treating him like crap at Vought and the bloody church he was.
Yeah,
he's such a funny character. He's so fun, especially when he's sort of like saying, when they were talking about, I think it was the Hawkeye copycat, the one who's clearly like Hawkeye from. And he's saying like, "Oh, I love that guy. He's so awesome. He's so good. He's a pain in the ass, and I got rid of him. Yeah. You know what? Apparently, I didn't like him and stuff." And even like when I couldn't help but snigger. This serious bit with the head explosions in the courtroom. I mean, my God, when have you ever seen that in a show? All these heads exploding. Sharon couldn't believe it. Me and Sharon could believe it. But we laughed when Deep's going.
And he went like that. And he was in a different part of the country. Yeah, for me personally, he is my favourite. He's put upon, is sort of misunderstood, shall we say. And for comedic purposes, it is one of the best characters in it. I mean, the scene where he tries to get back into the Seven by stopping him with a whale.
Yes, that bit was. Oh my God, that bit was just brilliant. It's just so funny how Billy comes out like, "That was diabolical," and they're all like dizzy as anything, and poor Hugh's in there just like,
"I'm just going to stay here for a while."
And MM comes in and just lays next to him, blood and guts in his heart. "Stop him! I'm just stay here."
I mean, I'm sure they're going to get. I'm sure they get complaints, animal rights and all like that. But it's only a TV show.
It's only a TV show, but there's so many bits, and one little character actually, who was only in it for one episode, but I really hope he comes back for series 3. was Terra, the Bulldog.
Yeah, yeah.
Who is actually one of the big main characters in the comics. And he's been with Bill, and he's a member of the boys full on. And he was in every issue. And I remember getting a message from my mate saying, "Where's the bloody dog? Where's Terra?" So eventually we finally get little Terra, where every time he says to him, "Fuck it," you know, he shags something, the little dog, and just hear him go, this brilliant Bulldog. And I hope he comes back. And for me, as a fan of the comics, it was great seeing that, like when Billy and Terra go for that little walk in the suburbs, this peaceful walk together. And to me, that was great because they had so many moments from the comics that you could imagine from the original books. But it's, like I said, it just retells the whole story differently. Yeah. And for me, that's the best way, because I think for fans of the comics, it'd be too predictable. You'd go, "Oh, I know what's coming," and stuff like that.
Well,
I love how they're
reinventing it for the TV, shall we say?
They've reinvented it and retelling the story differently, and I'm so happy they are. And at the end, so I know we're not going to get the ending from the comics, because again, Billy, something happens with Billy, and Billy goes a bit far in the comics where it's very dangerous, and he's just losing it. But in this, it won't fit his character. So it's clearly confirming we're going to get a different ending where he's the better man, which is basically the moral of the story. Be the better person. You know, it's the weak versus the powerful. So don't become these manipulative monsters.
It's also, we met the other hero, Lamplighter.
Yes. I remember you questioned him actually in season 1. You were asking me a question, and I rewatched our review from last year, and you asked me, "Who's the other hero? There's some hero that left," and obviously we never saw who it was until now. It's Lamplighter.
Yeah, I mean,
who was a great character.
A great character. I mean, it lasted two episodes and then killed him off.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh, please don't kill the good characters off.
No. It's a shame.
Well, what made me laugh was, if you're a fan of the X-Men movies, you know that the actor played Iceman, and now he was playing Lamplighter, who plays with fire.
Yeah. Who, oddly enough, like Pyro from the X-Men films, has a wee lighter, a wee Zeppo lighter. So it's almost like.
But we found Lamplighter in this medical institution. Was it? It's not an asylum, is it?
It's sort of it's sort of like a. It's sort of a mixture, isn't it? It's like a medical / mental institution.
Yeah, where well, what can we say?
Yeah. There's one particular character
has got some sort of powers. Well, shall we go right to it?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what I have to? Because I kept thinking, this certain character, I thought, are they going to put him in?
Yeah.
How the hell are they going to get away with this certain character? And this character is Love Sausage. Now, in the comics, he's a retired superhero, and he's actually a friend of the boys and helps them out. But in this, he's clearly one of the mental patients. So we're getting a modern spin on him. But you think, until you look at him carefully, you think, what's his power? He's this big, giant Russian, 8 foot or 9 foot or whatever he is, how big he is. He has a massive love sausage, a massive ding dong.
What he can control.
Which he can use as a tentacle.
Yeah.
So, poor MM.
Poor
but then
MM.
again, as Frenchie said to him, don't be so close-minded.
Yeah, I think Frenchie...
that was brilliant. This sounds weird, but that was actually one of my favourite scenes because I thought, you never saw his powers in the comics, but to see that, and it was so quick, and me and Sharon just worked it out, and I thought, it's what I think it is. Oh, no. And you just see this. How often do you see this giant penis on a TV show? I mean, everything they did in this was brilliant. They got away with it. This giant penis going.
I didn't realise, because I just saw, MM getting throttled by this thing coming through the window door. Yeah. And then, as you looked at it closely, you thought, that's
That's that's that's not a tentacle.
Well, and French, I say Frenchie's remark, "Don't be so close-minded," proves that Frenchie mostly swings both ways.
Yeah, it probably does.
I
But
mean, the retracting love sausage though, as he did a bit back up his trouser leg, was so hysterical.
it was so incredible. It was something I thought you would only ever see in a hentai, like Legend of the Overfiend or something. So seeing this in live action, I never thought I'd see it a day. They really outdid themselves. They really went far. I mean, like even like some of this, like again from the comics, superhero sex scenes. That
Yeah,
really went pretty bloody far as well. But everything in it, from like all the guts, it was just such a great story. And like I said, the character development, every character was brilliant in this.
yeah.
And it had such a great story. It just evolves more. It just gets better and better.
Yeah, well, I was getting episode one. I was a bit worried at episode one because you watch it. It was a good episode, but then you come to near the end, to the end of the episode, and you think, "Where's Billy?"
Yeah,
Because season one finished with Billy, Homelander, his wife, and then season two starts and there's no sign of Billy. I
yeah,
mean, what's going on? But then, of course, he reappears and panic over.
yeah. But that's what I was saying. I was panicking as well. I'm going, where's Billy? I have to
But
say, I mean, I've said this before. My two favorites are probably Billy Butcher and Frenchie. And Billy Butcher I just love, but just the character, the picture of him in this is brilliant. And I love both the comic and the TV show, but right now the TV show does it better for me. I'm just loving the characterizations in this. And
I mean, Urban, who plays Billy, he is an awesome actor. I mean, what he does with all these roles he plays, he just puts 100% into what he does. And that I mentioned before we started recording this, the scene where he's confronting the doctor who created all the soups with the serum. He sat in his house drinking the tea, but before that he was threatening to kill his daughter, and
yeah,
the way Billy Urban or Billy, whatever, it was just looking at the doctor. That was just so, you knew then with that look how far and what he was capable of, how far he could go. I mean, that's just damn good acting, that is.
It is. I think every one of them in this series proved it. They just really upped all the characters and stuff like that. And even just like the one-offs we get in this series, they all gave it their all, like Lamplighter and Stormfront. Whether Stormfront comes back in the next series, I doubt it, but she's obviously dying. Like, I mean, what a deserving villain death. Just like limbs ripped off and just totally brain damaged to the point she obviously doesn't speak English anymore. She's just going German.
German, yeah. Yeah, you see, I didn't know where they were going with Stormfront, because when the episodes were going along, you're thinking there's something not right about that one, and then of course it comes out that she's how many years old? She's over 100. Was it
Years
100?
old or something? Yeah.
And she was in the Nazi party, and she was the wife of the creator of Vought.
Yeah. It was so clever because I kept thinking, are we going to get the Nazi background? Because as Stormfront in the comics was a Nazi. So I thought, are we going to get it? But it was, as you said, you kept thinking, where's this going? And I thought something's going to pop up with this character. There's something about her. And I thought it was interesting. Like, we got the modernized problems, like fascism and the whole feminism part, like the absolutely crazy feminism, and like all the power and stuff like that. And then of course we see the background to it where she is a Nazi.
Yeah.
And it was really quite interesting. And I kept thinking, are we going to get it? Because of course she was a Lady Liberty at one point, so she's been in disguise all this time, watching all the Nazis' weapons grow and grow. But and
But yeah,
it's in a way it's almost, and I quite liked it when she said to Homelander, "You're our greatest achievement. You're our ultimate weapon." The clue kind of is in front of you if you think about it. The fact he's got blue eyes and blonde hair.
yeah,
It's very clever when you think about it. If you know about the Nazis and the way they were, supremacism and power.
the Aryan race.
Yeah, how nuts they were. You know, when you see it with the help, where she's like, "You're my ultimate treasure. You're the great weapon." I'm like, blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh my god! But it's so well written. The stories themselves, they wrote it very well.
I mean, hopefully, the season as the seasons go on are a success, and hopefully we get more seasons as it goes. Because sometimes you get into these series and they're cancelled within 2 or 3 seasons. Hopefully, this won't happen with the boys.
I don't think it will, thankfully, because from what I heard, The Boys was getting more ratings than quite a few shows on Netflix, actually. It was getting a lot of hits because a lot of people were raving about it. So I think it is like this next show that no one's ever seen before.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had so many shows like, as we mentioned, Banshee. That got a lot of stuff. Game of Thrones. But this just ups it. It just takes it up so much and is so controversial. And people love all that. So this, I think, thankfully, this is going to be one of those shows where it will be written great and we'll still get we'll get a beginning and we'll get an ending. No cancellation. Because it seems to be like every time before a season starts, it gets renewed for another season, doesn't it? Because before season 2 started, they said, "Oh, it's renewed for a 3rd season." Oh, that was quick.
I mean, we do know that Jensen
Ackles.
is going to be playing Soldier Boy.
Yes, and that's going to be very interesting, especially since Eric Kripke and him worked together on Supernatural, because Eric Kripke is the creator of Supernatural.
Yeah.
And we even had Bobby,
Bobby,
who played the President of the United States. Yeah. So we've got a lot of big actors in this. So it's going to be interesting with Jensen Ackles. And if my memory serves me right, Soldier Boy is basically a piss take of Captain America. And I can't remember. I think it was a name that was passed on from generation to generation. Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to follow the same, like, make fun of the fact he was from the Second World War, wakes up in an ice cube or something. I don't know. But all I know is they're going to modernize him as well. And he's going to be, how this is going to be, I don't know, just as evil and bad as the Homelander.
Just let's hope they don't kill him off in 3 episodes.
Hopefully not. I'm kind of hoping he'll be like Stormfront, you know, like the next sort of like where we're introduced to the Homelander. And clearly the Homelander is the big bad in the whole series. Yeah. But we get that one other big bad as well. So obviously in the first series, it was Madeline Stillwell. And then second was Stormfront. So my assumption is it's going to be Soldier Boy.
Yeah. Now, the other character, what you would like to see in turn up, now I can't remember the name, is the one who... Yes, is the one who shows affection to most things.
Yes. I'm hoping somehow, because I've heard they wanted... and funny enough, he's a fan of the boys as well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Ah.
And so I wouldn't be surprised. And I think Eric Kripke said he did want to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan onto the show. So that's the one character I could think of he'll be playing, hopefully. Because, of course, he played Thomas Wayne in the DC movies at one point. Yeah. So my assumption is he could end up playing Tech Knight. But, of course, it's only rumors and stories. But I heard he wants to be a part of it.
Is that the only other character in the comics what hasn't sort of been highlighted for an appearance?
Oh, there's so many. I know Love Sausage is going to come back.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see where this version goes. So I can't wait to see him come back. And another funny thing is, I think Shaquille O'Neal may be in the next series.
Yeah.
because there was an interview. They were doing like a big sort of Zoom interview together, and he crashed it. Shaquille O'Neal crashed it using a filter to make himself look like a soup. And everybody was laughing, and he was saying, like, get me onto the 7. Now, with these things, you sort of think it's clearly highlighting something.
Yeah, they know.
They know it's clearly highlighting something. And you know he's going to pop up as some character. Which one it is, I don't know. But
talking of character, the character, I don't know what role she was, but the one who caused all the heads exploding.
Oh, yeah.
Now, who is she?
That's the thing. I don't know who she is.
Ah.
So this is what I love about the show is like the whole head explosion. This shows how good they are with the writing, because Eric Kripp, the guys who wrote all this, and even they had Garth Ennis, who wrote the original books, in on this as well.
Mm.
They clearly know how to play with us. Not in that sense, but they know how to make us think like, what's going on? Because that was something very good. And it's a shame their friend, the FBI woman who was killed at the end, she got her head blown up. But we kept thinking, many of us kept thinking, is it the church? Is it the church of the collective? Is it the guy who runs the church? Or is it Stan Edgar?
It's definitely not the guy who runs the church.
Yeah, that was out of the question. As soon as that happened, I was like, that's my theory gone. I'll tell you, that bit, me and Sharon are watching it, we didn't expect it. And I'll tell you, as soon as it hit the can, and boom, his head blows up, Sharon launched off the chair. She just went... And even because she launched, I launched with her. I was like, whoa. But I'll tell you, that was one of the best twists I've seen in a TV show, because I really didn't expect it to be her. This woman who was like clearly nice but strong, but who clearly despises Vought. So you know she's out against Vought and wants them gone. But the fact it was her, I couldn't believe it. I thought,
where are they going to go with that character?
What is actually her agenda? Because it's clearly saying like she was like, we're against Vought and stuff like that. We're against the suits and the terrorisms and all these powers. We're against all that. So, but she clearly has power. So is she someone who got brutally experimented on and is out for revenge in her own way? Because now she's getting power, quite a lot of power actually. So you think, what is her game? I thought maybe she's a good guy, killing off corruptive members and Vought members and stuff, but she obviously killed their friend at the start, the FBI woman. So you're thinking, what's with her?
I mean, that courtroom scene with, I mean, I didn't expect any of that to kick off with the heads.
Neither did I. I couldn't believe it.
That scene lasted a good 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But how fun that looked. I bet that was really fun to film, be in that room with everything going off.
Yeah. And, I've never seen anything like this on a TV show.
Yeah.
You know, you'd think you'd see it like, I mean, maybe Evil Dead or something along those lines.
I always think, with the head exploding, I always think of the horror movie Scanners.
Oh, yes. Great film, Scanners.
So, but it was just so unexpected, and what the hell?
Yeah, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
It just kept going. I mean, it's so funny when it kind of reminded me of like when people went on about the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this beats it. This beats it. I mean, my God, it was insane.
Going back to Billy, we found out in this series he can't really do anything without what's his name? Huey.
Huey, yes.
Huey needs him. He needs Huey.
Yeah.
They complement each other. But they're always at each other's throats.
Yeah, that was one of the things that
I thought that was really well done.
very well done, and that's a very big part from the original books where they were always together and there was always that connection, that whole brotherly thing. And of course, I liked the whole add to it about Billy he had a younger brother called Lenny,
Yeah.
and how his aunt actually says, "Hey, doesn't he look like?" And he's like, "Shut up." And of course, you realize why he actually, even though they're at each other's throats and don't agree with each other sometimes, he does care for him. He loves him because, of course, he does resemble Lenny, his little brother. And they do need each other. And in a way, it works for the TV show to help him get more human and not be as violent, and to what, even though he wants to stop the soups, not become so in depth with the darkness.
Yeah, true.
And that's what Huey does. He's helping him. And so you get those moments, like I said, with where poor Starlight being forced by Homelander to kill him, and Billy jumps in just going, "Oi, cunt." And that was great. It's just all these little moments and stuff. And
I want a T-shirt. T-shirts printed up. Oi, can't.
yeah, me too. And I'll tell you, it's shows like this as well. Speaking of Huey, the soundtrack for this show was brilliant. This season in particular was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant soundtrack, because there was and I've never seen this much of this guy being used in one thing. Billy Joel.
Yeah, and it was nearly every episode.
Nearly every episode it had a song. And you mentioned, I bet he must get shares for this, surely.
He's either got shares in the TV series, or I don't know, but maybe his record sales have shot up. I don't know now, but
yeah, he's getting really popular and stuff like that. Yeah. But it fits so well with the TV show and the style of it, because it is like an action adventure comic book comedy violent drama sort of thing, and just everything about it so bonkers. It fits well, like the whole soundtrack fits it, and great usage for a great song, Second Wind.
Second Wind, yeah.
Yeah, You're Only Human. I mean, that's a great music video, and it was great to see that at the start of the episode, and the song being played. And of course, We Didn't Start the Fire.
There was quite a few.
Quite a few, weren't there? And it goes well with Huey's character, because you notice a lot of his T-shirts are classic rock singers from the 80s. Like, you've got Billy Joel, and there was one T-shirt, I think, was Fleetwood Mac or something.
Yeah, it was Fleetwood Mac. I think it was the last episode.
Yeah, where it was the penguins and stuff like that.
The 50th anniversary thing.
Yeah, so it's great when they've used quite a lot of singers. Like in the first series, it seemed like you had lots of songs, but it was the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
This season was Billy Joel.
Billy Joel.
What the next one is.
But we did get an explanation about all the Billy Joel stuff in the last episode when he was talking to Starlight.
And that was another interesting one. How in the comics, Huey's dad is dead. From what I remember, his dad's dead, and it's his mother who he lives with and stuff. Right. But obviously in this, I thought maybe they've swapped the roles round. But his mother's still alive, obviously, but left him when he was quite young. And so he obviously grew up with his dad.
There was no dad in this season.
Yeah, that was the one thing. I wished Simon Pegg could come back.
Well, he might be in the third.
He might come back later on, something.
There's no explanation where he was, though, was there?
From what I remember, he got taken away by the FBI, didn't he? He's under protection.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
Like MM's family were.
You thought there'd been a bit of a mention on it, but there again, you never know.
Yeah. But there's so many characters from the comics, and it's hard to pinpoint which one we still need to see, like certain big ones. But right now, and it's been a long time since I've read it, those are the only big ones I could think of that I think we'll get in the next series, officially. And again, we could get some new ones or just new renditions of them.
I don't mind if they do new renditions of them, but just keep them to the original idea of the character. Do not go off on a really big tangent with them.
Well, that's the thing. They seem to do a great job at. They've kept the soul and spirit of this show. Clearly, they've clearly done it, but they've revitalized it with a whole different look and style to it. You know, that's still like the comics, but now you could go in without reading the comics, and fans of the comics can go into it not knowing what's going to happen.
You don't need one with the other, really, do you?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I love about this. It's so unpredictable because, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm watching this thinking, what the hell's going to happen? But I love it when they do that with a show, because I said with the series 1, it could have gone either way, and it's a very ballsy move, but they've done it. They've done it, and I thought this season was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it was. I really enjoyed it. I mean, looking forward to, well, when they'll be able to film season 3.
Yeah,
I know. Jensen Ackles has got a script because he was flashing it about on the social media.
Yeah, thinking, I love that video. I saw that where he's just like, I think he must have been on the set of Supernatural filming the last episode, and it was like, what am I going to do next? And randomly, a comic book goes, and you see it's a mock cover based on The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman was jumping like that, but instead Batman's being kicked off a skyscraper by Billy Butcher.
I mean, yeah,
and he reads it, and of course Soldier Boy starts playing, and as I know the comics, I knew instantly who he was playing. I was like, oh, but
it's one of those things that with the situation what the world is in at the moment with this virus. With entertainment and drama series and stuff like that, we could be waiting a while before things get back to normal.
Yeah,
movies as well. You know,
I know. Yeah, I know they started filming. I know they started filming like certain stuff again, and of course I was a bit worried and down. But there was many things playing in my head, thinking about things with everything going on. But we will get something.
Oh yeah, we'll get something. But I just hope. I hope it's not going to be. Is it going to be another year, or is it going to be 2 years before we see anything?
I know,
because there is going to be a delay where everything stopped production. It's going to affect the broadcast days and
I think either way, you know, if we're getting movies filmed again, because I know they've started filming The Batman again.
Yes, I've seen those pictures. Yeah,
which some pictures are great. So we can only wait. I think we could just only wait and see. But that is what season 3 planned.
If we have to wait, it's something that we can look forward to. We just have to wait a little bit longer. And mostly, if we have to wait a little bit longer, we may enjoy it more when we do get the thing.
True. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think it gives them time to sort of come up with ideas for season 3. Like, because of course we're thinking, where's it going to go? I tell you, I think the ending for season 2 was perfect. It was what a perfect finale. I feel like that wrapped up everything from season 1 to now. I always feel like that was like what I call the Rebecca saga, because that was like about him trying to find Rebecca, and then of course we find out what happened to poor Rebecca and the Homelander and all that. So I feel like that wrapped up that story perfectly. So season 3 is going to open up a brand new storyline, you know, a brand new saga that they can play with. But now they've got enough time to try and perfect.
Yeah, they've given this is it. It's not stopping the writers writing.
Yeah,
it's not doing that so that, you know, things are getting written. It's just when they go into production. That's the and there's one a humorous picture I saw. I think I don't know if you saw it online of Homelander in high heels.
Yeah.
Because apparently Anthony Starr's not that tall.
Yeah. I saw that.
I thought, well, good on him, walking around in high heels just to be taller than all the other actors.
I know. Oh.
So, anything else we want to say about season 2 of The Boys before we give it a good score?
I think, again, we've just wrapped up because we've said, I think we've mentioned so many. I think we've mentioned our favorite moments already, pretty much. We've already mentioned certain things, haven't we, about like moments we love. There's so many favorite moments, and one moment actually we haven't pointed out yet was John Noble as Billy Butcher's dad.
Yes, I mean he
Which
was on
were,
one episode. It was just one episode. That wasn't.
it was just one episode,
Yeah.
and it was only a small bit. And of course, it was quite cool because they worked together on Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
So in a way, it was a bit of a Lord of the Rings reunion, and I really didn't expect this. I actually was like, "Oh my God, it's John Noble," but of course, he plays a bit of a nasty, not a nice dad, really. But it was a very good scene, actually. I thought that was a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that he meets up with his mum, who was clearly the better parent and the one he got on with the most. And she says, I did it so you'd remember who you really are, so you don't become your dad or the Homelander. You be the better person. And I love that when his mum said, really? He said, can that was such a brilliant scene. There's so many scenes where they just acted so well and stuff. And of course, I was trying to think of all those I think we've pretty much said all the big scenes that stood out big time. Cool. And we've given theories on like what can happen in the next series. But I just think, yeah.
I mean, even if when the third season does appear and we watch it and it's totally different to what we had in our heads, I'll be happy with whatever they give us, to be honest.
Me too. I'll be happy because it'll be so unpredictable. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the boys actually does become a task force for the FBI/CIA like they did in the comics.
Like the A-Team.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they pretty much are like vigilantes, aren't they, right now? Which in the comics, they were a task force assigned. But you already got a sort of sense of that in a way, but not completely. But I wonder if now, because of everything that's happened, the FBI will say, we need the boys.
That's what's the name? Is it Mallory? Mallory, yeah.
And they will make them an official.
That's a good character as well. Mallory's a good character.
Gosh, she was great. She was brilliant. But I think they will. I wonder if she'll make them into an official task force to keep Soups in line.
Maybe.
And it'd be cool if we got like even if it's just for one episode, the costumes they wear in the comics, which is pretty much it may be dated now, but it's a very sort of like they all wear long black coats. Like very sort of Matrix looking, like long black leather coats and stuff. And they all dress in black and stuff. I wonder if they might do that.
Billy's nearly there anyway.
Yeah, Billy Butcher dresses like that. So he's done the whole comic book look. So we could get that. We might get that. But again, the thing is about this show is I don't know. None of us know. And that's what's great about it. But I think we'll be happy with what they deliver. And it is going to get better from here on out. But I think they are going to go a lot, hard to believe, but a lot more further. I mean,
further the better.
Further the better. It's going to be very further than ever.
So, what would you give season 2 out of 10?
I think, to be honest, I would actually. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 because it just delivered all the goods. It was bloody awesome.
Me personally, because they killed off Lamplighter, a great character. They haven't used the deep enough, in my opinion. I'm still going to give it 10 cans of Fresca out of 10.
Have a Fresco.
I wonder what is in that.
No. Oh, that was a scene I actually liked. Sorry to drop. I forgot. The talking gills.
Oh, yeah. When he was
Patton Oswalt.
Yes.
Did the voice of the gills.
that was just out there.
There is doubt, and the gills start singing, don't they? And it was so funny. I mean, what a perfect choice, Patton Oswalt, to do the voice of these talking gills.
Yeah, totally forgot about that scene. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I think if they released it all at once, I'd probably remember it no problem. But because it was weekly, which is not a bad thing, it makes it more worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean the first season was released as well, wasn't it? Out there.
It was all out there, but I quite liked. I actually liked that they just released the first 3 episodes, and then it was weekly. To me, I felt like I was watching a normal TV show on TV, having to wait weekly for it, which was a nice change because we're all spoiled by getting everything at once. But it's nice to go back to a time where it's like that. You wait a week and stuff like that. I liked it. I actually liked that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's just like the old days.
Exactly, like the old days. But
so, I think we have absolutely wrung The Boys season 2 dry now. So we'll mostly bring this cast to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, thank you for joining me talking Boys season 2, because I think we're the only 2 people in our gang what watch this program.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you for again another great cast. I love doing this, and it's been a while since I've done this.
Yes. I'm gonna stop your pay, and then you'll have to get back on the cast.
You might see Sharon's head pop on the side going, "Who are you talking to?"
Yeah.
She might join in now. She's a complete geek now as well.
Cool. So yeah, me and Ethan are finishing this cast. So you guys out there, if you like The Boys, please leave a comment. If let us know what you thought of season 2. Mm-hmm. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're all over the place. Just leave us a comment, and so might reply to you. And also, if you want to join our cast, our group, leave us a message asking that you want to join, and you like watching movies, you like watching TV stuff, you like listening to audio. We're always welcoming new members. We could do with some fresh blood as well, so. But until then, it's bye from me. It's bye from Ethan. It's bye from the boys.
Yep.
Until season 3, of course.
Yes.
Bye for now.
See you later.